Welcome to Marwell Manor Farm for episode 1 with me, MrSealyp. Well, I finally made it back in the UK. Got into Southampton docks early this morning. Got a bus up through Fair Oak, up to Lower Upham, just along the road, back there. Just had breakfast in a lovely little pub called the Alma Inn. In case you're ever popping by there, they do a lovely carvery, a daily carvery. Very nice indeed. And now we're heading to the farm. I just want to start by saying, wow. This is what I love doing, subscriber contracts, because I love my subscribers and the way they come up with really ingenious stuff. And it just goes to show that my family, have got their fingers in all sorts of pies. The range of different contracts that I've been offered already. Like I said before though, please don't go mad. There's only so many I can do. I can't do all of them. So far I've got contracts for milk. I've got contracts for Gibson's Bakery is back. Wheat and eggs for Gibson's. If you've watched any other Let's Plays, Gibson's Bakery has been in quite a few of them. RMC Logistics from Lone Oak Farm. ND Ag is back. I've been contacted by quite a few. Farmer Eric is on here. He owns Field 21. Is that it there? Yeah, Field 21. He owns Field 21. And he's given me a contract to seed it. Well, I'm going to have to look at that because that's already got a crop in it. I have to speak to him. But anyway, got a contract for that. But before we get down to the farm, I'm trying to think the best way to go from here. The farm's that way, as you can see. Wow! That would have been great, wouldn't it? First episode, a big red splodge on the road hit by a cement mixer. Very good start to the Let's Play. Anyway, Marwell Manor Farm. We're here. We made it. So, I've got £100,013. £13 out of my pocket already. That's what's left of my travel. And I've got a couple of things I need to do straight away. The farm needs some work. We've got some fields to sort out and things like that. But I've got a message here from Stephen, who's working on Grizzly Mountain at the moment. And his brother, Jack, worked at the docks on Felsburn, or works at the docks at Felsburn. It's his job to sort out shipping. He's the shipping manager, loading up ships and whatnot. And he has to fulfil a certain quota to get a ship loaded before it gets sent off. He is currently working on trying to sort out getting the baked beans shipped, if he can. He has offered to, for a small fee, send a second piece of equipment with it, but I think we're just going to go with the baked bean for the time being, which is fantastic. So thank you, Jack, and thank you, Stephen, for that. I'm looking forward to that arriving, because I only used it, I think, for one episode on Felsburn. We have also got, RMC Logistics, and this is what I mean about subscriber contracts. Actually, what I'm going to do is head past the farm. I'm going to head up towards the store while I'm doing all this. I should be walking towards the oncoming traffic, really, so I don't get hit from behind. Mind you, that's it, I nearly got squashed anyway. RMC Logistics that were on Lone Oak Farm, they're shipping some stuff out to Felsburn. So they've said they can ship the fence out. So potentially with those two contracts, and this is what I mean about subscriber contracts, it's great for me because I can pick and choose. I can alter slightly if I need to, make them fit the narrative. If you watch the videos and you watch what I'm doing, if you can fit a subscriber contract to what I'm doing, it works a lot better than if you throw something weird out, throw me a real curveball, because that's harder to do. But so potentially RMC Logistics can take the fence out, and Jack can organise getting the baked bean here. So that could work. That's not going to be in this episode. That might take a little while for the shipping to go ahead, but that's happening. But we've also got from Silas, who works up here at the store at the John Deere dealership. They're pushing a new brand, not of John Deere, is Armour Track. I've never used Armour Track tractors before, but they're kind of in the local area trying to push Armour Track as an alternative, not necessarily to John Deere's, because we've got quite a few big John Deere's. So they've offered me a loaner. We have got the option of an Armour Track 1104. It's apparently parked at the workshop, and we can have it for 6 hours of runtime, which isn't going to be very well. I suppose that's going to be a fair amount, isn't it? We'll see how we get on with that. 6 hours of actual kind of work time, or until the end of February. Well, we're on February the 11th today. February the 11th already. So yeah, that's not too bad. So we've got that on loan, and it says here all we ask for is your feedback. So that's not bad. We've got a third tractor that we can be using now. The equipment that we've got down at the farm, the family have been kind of fiddling around with, what we like to use, what they like to use on the farm. So the equipment we've got at the moment isn't quite what it was originally. I've got this on normal, not an easy mode, so I'm playing on normal. So prices will be a little bit lower than they have been on the previous Let's Plays I've done, but I think a little bit more realistic, in so much as we won't be making huge amounts of money on each job, but with the subscriber contracts running, that kind of balances all of that out. What was I saying? Mine's gone blank. Oh yeah, equipment. So we're starting with 100,000, exactly as you would do. I'm on new farmer mode because I wanted to have all the buildings and stuff in the yard. I wanted it to be Marwell Manor farm, because that's our farm. And the machinery is equitable to, if not actually less than we had before. I think all bar one piece of equipment, which I'll explain when we get to the yard. So I haven't done anything outlandish. I haven't tripled the amount of equipment you start with. I haven't gone for bigger stuff, more expensive stuff. Excuse me. Or anything like that. So where did they say it was going to be around the back? I think they did. Round the back by the workshops. Workshops are out here. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Cool, cool. So yeah, an Armour Track. Haven't used one of these. Got a front loader on it. That's handy. I'm not sure what we're going to use it for. It's quite small. I don't think it has very high horsepower. Let's have a quick look in the garage. Owned items. The Armour Track 1104, 110 horsepower. Nothing major. But what I do know that we need, and that we need to do, if we go onto our GPS satellite mapping type thing. So there we go. Field 21 is owned by Farmer Eric. These are our fields here. That one needs harvesting already. Field 18 says it's cultivated, but here's the problem. If we go across the soil composition, they all need ploughing. So what I need to do is plough field 18 before I put anything in it. It does also say, if I take ploughing off, like so, they all need lime as well. Now I was tipped the wink on this. Thank you, Adrian. Adrian let me know, long-time friend of the channel, that he did, I'm sure he said he did field 18, and it cost him 17 grand in lime. Now I said that this is a small map, and it is a fairly small map, in so much as there are only 23 fields. But some of these fields are big. It's not, some of them are tiny, don't get me wrong, 14, 13, there's some real small fields. But some of these fields are quite large. So I don't know whether or not for this time round, until I can build some money up, I'm going to avoid the lime, but I'm probably going to plough. I think. I'm also going to take on a contract, because we need some money coming in. And there's one there for fertilising, for 10,448. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to accept that contract now. So we've got that kind of in the bank at the moment. I think we've got a fertiliser piece of machinery. So yeah, there's a lot going on that we need to get our heads around fairly quickly. So we've got the Armour Track. Oh yeah, that's what we need to do. Round into the store. Can I get down this little alleyway? Oh, that's handy. Little shortcut. Didn't know that was there. So let's see what they can do for us. Now, we've got a fairly big piece of machinery, so I think we can get away with subsoilers. It's still going to take a while because they're not that big. I think a coulter plough, that's going to cost, whoa, okay, that could well go over into another hour as well. So if we do that contract is really just going to pay for the lease of this. So the Agrosem coulter plough Platinum, that was part of the Big Bud DLC in FS17, I believe. Let's lease that. Now, obviously, the armour track won't pull this in the field, but we can at least use it to tow it back. That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? We'll do that. Can you imagine that 110 horsepower trying to pull that? This is very cool. Very diddy little thing, isn't it? Or maybe I can use it for just loading and unloading stuff and, you know, bales. I suppose stuff around the yard. If I've only got 6 days on it, doing stuff around the yard might be quite a cool bit of kit. Oh, the English countryside. It's good to be home. Well, that pulled down the suspension a bit, didn't it? Now, from here, there's a shortcut we can take. I don't actually need the beacon on, do I? I can take a shortcut. Now, at the back of here, if you've been playing, a lot of my subscribers that have been commenting on my first look on this have said they are already like a lot of hours into this map. But if we go out the back of the yard here and follow this track, so we're now heading south between these fields here. The river runs east-west, and I think, is it Bow Lake? I'm sure it's Bow Lake, isn't it? Bow Lake's further down there somewhere. Little bridge. Look at that water detail. That is just amazing, isn't it? I just want to stay here, I think, and just have a picnic by the river. This map is something else, it really is. Wow. So, follow the track, keep on going, and we should come into the back of the farm. I suppose it depends on your definition of the front and back. I would say the front is where the main driveway comes in, so this is definitely the back of the field. Field. This is our field here. We need to get the harvester out. This needs harvesting. Now, if this is, I think it's wheat, isn't it? If that's wheat, that could be part towards Gypsum's contract. Actually, we can get straight on that. This is the one, though. That's a big field. I'm going to be putting oats in that. Like I said on Felsburn, I was doing oats in my combined field because Barris had mentioned the fact that doing oats pays quite well anyway. But then it leaves a straw swath too if you put the swath on the harvester. And he sold bales at the barn and was making quite good money on selling the bales. Now I have also got contracts, believe it or not, for bales already. I think it's from, I can't remember who it was now, but I've got a contract for sugar beet, haven't I? Yeah, I've got a contract from the Department of Energy. Blimey, got a contract. I've already got a contract for oats, so doing oats in there would be absolutely perfect. Giuseppe in Italy wants the milk. Gypsum's, yep, just coming through. Where are we? Oh yeah, that reminds me. Let's get this down into the yard. Actually, I can leave this here. Here, this is where I need it, don't I? Let's leave that there. If you remember on Lone Oak, you remember Al, who was doing the contract? I was doing the contract for him to supply him, and he was doing stuff in the woods. He was making a product in the woods. Well, I never collected, and that was supposed to be sorted out on Ravenport, and I never got round to doing it. Well, Al's cousin Dale is in the legitimate business, the legal version of what he was doing in the woods. And he's offered me, what has he offered me? Well, he offered me it on Ravenport, but I kind of missed him there, we didn't meet up. The chainsaw, and I can collect old logs, and Al's product is ready to be delivered, so I should be getting a case of something coming soon as well from there. So yeah, all sorts going on. Right, down into the yard then. Let's pull this up just in here, and I'll show you what I mean. As far as equipment goes, the harvester and header are exactly the same. The trailer that comes kind of standard is the Agro Liner 21,000 litre. Now, I said when I did a review on this, the Cramped Kipper, that I really like the one with the top on it. This is a 29,000 litre one, so it's a little bit bigger, not massive. I haven't gone for like a 56,000 litre trailer, but I've kind of swapped the trailers out. As far as tractors go, we had a Fendt MT11 something, wasn't it? We've got a Fendt 943. It's a little bit smaller. There was also a John Deere. We've got a Massey. The John Deere was 280 horsepower. This Massey 7726 is also 280 horsepower. So equitable horsepower, pretty much identical in that kind of aspect. So we've got the Massey. We've got a smaller Fendt. Now this is still, I think the Fendt you start with was 496 horsepower. This one's 431. Now, potentially we're not going to have this long, because if this does get shipped by RMC and we get the baked bean delivered, this will be going at some point, but this should still be enough. Oh, hang on. That's a point. That Agrisem... Ooh. What is that subsoiler required to pull? 420. It's got 431. That's going to be pretty close. So, here's the thing. What have we also got? Oh, up in one of the barns, up on the brow of the hill up here. In-game standard, you get a Hardy sprayer. I've swapped out the Hardy sprayer for solid fertiliser. Now, this is something that will happen through Let's Plays, and it happened through FS17. I will try to use different equipment on different Let's Plays. I will also try as much as I can. Yeah, because that's just a cultivator. That won't give me the ploughed state, whereas the Cultiplow will. Yeah, this thing works brilliantly. With the 6 metre spreader on it, it's perfect for fertilising and fertiliser contracts. It works out cheaper than the spraying and all that kind of stuff. Now, as I go through Let's Plays, and as I progress through FS19, as mods and stuff come out, there will be certain mods that you will decide. You will find this yourself. If you've been playing the game for a long time, you'll already know this. But if you're new to the game, you'll find there are certain mods that you'll decide on pretty much every Let's Play you do that you will use, because you can't do without them, because they're invaluable, because they're really handy for whatever reason, or you just really, really like them. And you'll find on most of your Let's Plays, you'll use whatever that piece of equipment is. Now, I will always try to use different equipment. Throughout the Let's Play, I will try and switch things out. As mods come out, I will generally try to incorporate them into Let's Play. But certain things, I will keep the same, just because they work really well. Like this little beauty. That was from Not Ready, part of the pack, the big bag and lifter pack. That I'm going to be using a lot. So I think that's our arrival sorted. Now I've got about 4 jobs that I need to be getting on with almost immediately. One, I need to get the harvester out to field 18? No, 15. I need to get the Cultiplow going on field 18, and we need to sort out the contract that we've taken on for fertiliser. I'm not sure we're going to get all that done in this episode, but this is arrival. This is day one. We've just got here, straight in on it. And like I said, the family's taken on a lot of contracts, and they need someone that can do it. Now, I've had a few comments from various different people regarding triggers and various different things. Now, the thing about this is, I think all these gates open, don't they? Is that open? Maybe from the other side. Oh, it does. So why did that one not open? Was it because I was standing in front of it, or I wasn't in the trigger? Maybe that's what it was. There we go. As far as these troughs go, you might find, I know people were asking where does the straw go, they're having trouble putting TMR in. It might mean you've got to come down this side, or you might have to come down this side, and the same with over here. It might be either side of here. I know you've got a hazard box in the middle here, but it's a case of just trying everything, you know. And someone said that the feed area for the chickens gets dirty, but you can't clean it. I don't know. I'd like to say this is day one for me. I know some of you guys have been on this for ages now. You're already kind of really cracking on with the Let's Plays. I had a day off on Sunday to do stuff with the family. Why is it not closing? The trigger's quite narrow apparently on this. That's weird. I can't now get the gate to close. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of fiddling around. So what should I do first? Let's get this brute fired up, shall we? Let's get the culture plowing going. Oh, now, that's a thing. Before I go, sorry. Here in the yard. I might have mentioned it on Felsbrun, but here in the yard, around all these lovely flowers around the cottage, there are... I bet I'm not going to see one now. If you already know this. Fantastic. Oh no, please tell me they're not. There are butterflies, believe it or not. I'm not going to see one now, am I? Oh, there you go, look. Butterflies. Look at how amazing is that? Red Admiral, if I'm not wrong, on my butterfly recognition. That's the only butterfly I know, in all honesty. So people start going, are there no bounds to his knowledge? There's nothing he doesn't know. I only know a Red Admiral, and that looked like it, so I don't know. Anyway, let's go on with the farming rather than butterfly recognition, shall we? There's not really much point using the toolbox mod, and that was what I was worried about. Because we've got a workshop, and the workshop you can't really sell. I suppose if we expand out, we might put the toolbox mod elsewhere on the map, maybe. Maybe out of the other farm, if we gradually start expanding. You know. That's the plan anyway. Carrying on with the contracts, getting various different things done. Not just subscriber contracts, but other ones as well to make money. Now, these fields are by no means standard. These fields are by no means worker compatible or worker friendly. That much is glaringly obvious. Generally speaking, what I do is I will get the worker set off and get a rectangle of some description that the worker can work on. Then I will tidy up the edges, generally. That's how I've always done it. Now the hard thing about this is going to be, and I suppose what I should have done maybe was fertilised first. Because whilst I'm going over this, because this gives you the cultivated state, you cannot see any difference between this and this. And that's going to be really difficult. I don't know whether I'm just going to have to take a hit on this on the first time round. And just say to myself, I'm not going to have the lime state or the ploughed state. But I really want it. And the problem is if I press hire worker now, it won't, because it's already cultivated. So it won't do it. Unless I went and actually got a plough and did it, but that's going to prove just as awkward. I like these square-edged ploughs. And if I do this myself, it's going to take forever. Realistically, it's what a farmer would do, you know? It's funny how you get different size cultivators and the ploughs are all quite small. You get this and think, yes, 8 metres, and then you look at the size of the field and think, oh dear, 8 metres. This is going to take some time. Oh, but then to be fair, even if I got the plough, that's the really big one, that's only 10 metres, isn't it? I think the best way to do this, so I know where I've been and where I haven't been, if I fertilise the field first, that'll give me a darkened patch. If I then go over with the cultivator, that will lighten it back up again and I'll be able to see where I've been. I think that's really the only way I'm going to be able to do this. God, I didn't realise how big this field was. Like I say, you look on the map and you think, yeah, it's a small map. Blimey. Blimey, mind you, that's a good looking tractor, isn't it? Okay. Thoughts. I'm thinking I might well have to bite the bullet on this and plough instead. It might be the only way to get this to work. Now the problem I've got is that SPSL is supposed to need 550 horsepower. I've got 430. I'm wondering if I can get away with it. It's a fairly 6,000. I'm already 10 grand in and I haven't done anything yet. I'm going to lease it and try it. You know what? You live and learn, don't you? Didn't even dawn on me this was already I mean, I showed you it was already cultivated, but that is huge, isn't it? Blimey, that's how big it was. Okay, right. This needs to go back. We have got what? Have we got a cedar? Hang on. Oh yeah, we have. We've got the horse pronto, and that direct drills as well, so we haven't got to worry. So if we plough, we should be able to go straight on. Okay. So if I do an outer strip, this could be the whole episode. It's going to be me just ploughing this field. Let's get the other bits of equipment sorted. I know, farm dog, it's not great, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. Right, I'll get this part way down the track. Let's get the harvester going too. I need to get some of this stuff done. I also need to get some fertiliser organised to get that fertilising contract done. You know what, it's one job. Let's stick with one job rather than doing 5 at a time. Feel of this map, I really do. Just talking to Barris, he's messaging me as I'm recording. My phone's pinging away like mad here. People are reporting, this is live, people live reporting on my video, that they can't sell milk at the dairy and they can't feed the chickens. I don't know how much truth there is to that. That's just what I'm being told. So yeah, who knows. What I might do is leave the culture plough to one side for the moment. I don't want to get rid of it because we've just leased it. Because if at some point we need to use that fairly soon, it'd be quite handy to have it available, won't it? Where should I put it? Like I say, I could regret now the fact that the family swapped out the tractors. I could be thinking, well, I could have done with nearly 500 horsepower rather than 431. When the baked bean comes, we'll have 517, which will be fine. But so if you're watching, wondering, hang on a minute, I don't understand this. How is this working? How do people pay him? Because we can't transfer him money like you do in multiplayer and that kind of thing. You may be new to this whole thing. This is why I said early on, without money cheat boxes and things like that, running a Let's Play with subscriber contracts is incredibly hard. Because what I generally do is I will use cheat boxes if I need to, when I need to, so people can pay me. So if I do a contract for somebody, I'll either take it to a sell point, sell it, and I'll offset that against what they said they'll pay me. So for example, if somebody says they need 100,000 litres of wheat and they'll pay me £50,000, fine. If I go and sell that at a sell point, whichever one we decide upon, I only make 40,000, then I'm owed 10,000 kind of thing. Well, the only way of making up that deficit is by using cheat boxes. Now, on a Let's Play like this, when you're running a narrative and you're doing subscriber contracts, it's not cheap. I'm not just putting in money. I'm doing the work for it. So that's kind of how it works. So if you're not sure how that's kind of how that happens, that's it. Whoa, hang. What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What just happened there? Did we hit a butterfly? Was that what it was? Is there? I hit some kind of invisible barrier by the side of the bridge. I did not like that. Yes, that's how it kind of works. But that's how I said as well. That's why you can't, you know. I think I had one lad, and it comes down to that. You have to remember watching, and I have to also bear in mind that not everybody on here that plays is a professional, whatever that even means, or an expert gamer, or even adults. And there are kids playing and watching and enjoying it and whatever, and they want to be part of the whole subscriber contract, let's play kind of thing. And that's fantastic. I love that. And I'm sure I had one guy, and I apologise if I'm doing you a disservice. It could have been an adult, I don't know. But they just offered me, just out of the blue, because they had a spare one, a case quad track. For no reason other than here, have it. Which is lovely and it's great, but it's a bit like, well, I get it, but how do I swing that with my subscribers? People that are watching are going to be like, hang on a minute, you've just dodged yourself a brand new quad track. So I have to think about, you know, to make it work properly. This is actually pulling it though. It's pulling it. Oh, and that's what I like. Look, custom textures. That's not your standard. That's like dry baked kind of. I like that. Like it. Anyway, so yeah, so I have to kind of balance it all out a bit, but that's how it works. So what will happen is I'll do a couple of headlands around here, and then I'll try and work out the lay of the land, which way is north, south, east, west. Sometimes you can get away with 45-degree angles. The workers are a bit better on here than they used to be. And then what will happen is like I say, I'll get a rectangle in so I can get the worker going to do the rectangle. Then anything else it can't do, I will then finish off. So, you know, a real farmer would do it themselves, or they would have a worker that would do the whole thing while they're doing something else. I totally understand that. I know some people are very anti using workers as well, but some people prefer doing everything themselves. And I get that. I really do. Because if it's just me playing, there's something incredibly therapeutic about doing a job like this. Going around a field, ploughing, just taking it easy, you haven't got to worry. If I'm not recording, I would probably put on a bit of music on my Spotify, either through my headphones or through the PlayStation, listen to a bit of music, and just relax, just enjoy the whole thing, because this isn't stressful, this is quite nice and relaxing. That is a nice size plough. Now if this had been hilly, this would have really struggled. I mean, that's now gone down to 4, yeah, between 4 and 5. So considering the size plough it's pulling, I'm more than happy with that. Now back up to 6 again, so yeah. I think it's I was just about to say something really idiotic then. Somebody asked me on my last video on Fellsborough, why was there a gap in there was a cut-in sound at one point. And here's the thing, because I generally chat and gibber on a lot, sometimes when I come to edit I think, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Why was I even saying half of that? And often I'll edit chunks out. If I can get away with editing, I'll cut and paste and chop it out, and you'll get a transition between 2 bits of filming or whatever. Other times, because something like this, because I'm ploughing and I wanted to keep, you know, I might want to keep it continuous. The only way to edit out that bit where I'm talking gibberish on Share Factory, that is, I don't edit on PC, is to just drop the volume down. Even if it's just like 3 or 4 seconds, just to get rid of a bit where you think you were talking rubbish there, mate, you were talking absolute nonsense, or you say something that you suddenly realise that's wrong. No, I've just said that and I know that's wrong. So yeah, And now, because I was saying all that, I've lost my thread about what I was originally talking about. But never mind. If you're new to the channel, that's what I do. That's, you know, generally speaking, now generally you wouldn't probably go around such a tight bend with the plough, because you would damage bits and bobs and shear bolts and all that good stuff that you shouldn't really be doing. Just a little bit more. There we go. Now there's no point creating fields if I put allow create fields on, because this field pretty much goes to the field boundary anyway, so that would be pointless. I put the cruise control in now because I'm holding my finger on the trigger and there's not a lot of point. But anyway, you see where I'm going with this. So what I'll do now is I will continue to do the headland, which is going to take some time, and I'm going to get absolutely clobbered for fees because this is going to take way more than an hour to do it. Once it's done, and that's the main thing. So I'll see you in a little while, either a little while when this is done. I think what I'll probably do now. Oh yeah, because I need to do all the outside bit before I do a rectangle and whatnot. And then we'll get on. We'll start the harvest, and then I need to, maybe with the armour tractor, maybe with the Massey, we'll go to the store and we'll fill up the fertiliser spreader. I won't take a trailer and bring back bags. I'll take the fertiliser spreader to the store. That's probably the easiest way of doing it, I think. But we're here. We're starting off. This is it. And the good thing about this is we've already owned this field. I'm going to stick oats in this. This is going to help one towards the oat contract I've got, and it's also going to help hopefully towards part of the bales contract that I've got. It all works out all right in the end, generally. It can get a little bit confusing here and there to keep up with the contracts I'm doing, but generally speaking I'll explain whose contract I'm working on and why. Generally. Well, I've finally got it to a position where the worker can work. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It took a little while, but it's a big field at the end of the day. So we're heading out now to the other field, and we'll start harvesting. We should see it just coming down there. I might be a little bit too far off, actually. Let's miss this gap here. That'll have to come back to and do. But that's fine. If we look in the map, you see what I mean. Because it's at a funny angle. Obviously these ones are kind of 45 degrees. Well, they're all at 45s. So rather than going east, west, north, south, this one kind of goes at the diagonal. So that line there is north, south, which on the field looks like a diagonal. I know it's a bit peculiar. So I just went round and made sure that there were straight edges. So I've done all this bit, and now the worker's going up and down doing the rest. It's going to take a while. I'm going to have to repair the machine, the plough part way and all that kind of stuff. But it needs doing. I want to get, I say maximum yield. I'm still considering actually liming, you know. I might still have to do lime. It's going to cost me a few bob, but it's probably going to be worth it in the long run. A field this size, I don't really want to take a deficit on the yield, so I might well have to do it. Do a couple of contracts, I think, off screen, in-game ones, not subscriber ones, and then I should be right. Now it shouldn't come down this far, so I should be okay to leave the header trailer just here, in theory. Let's just get that. What I love of these header trailers. I might swap that one out for one of the Elmer's ones. I know it's a really, really long one, but it'd probably work better. So this is going to be the same then. I'm going to do a couple of headlands. Let's get the harvester open first. Start it up. How's the rotor looking? Not bad. Okay. So this is barley. Oh, and some straw swath. Yes, right. I didn't even think of that. Leave the straw swath on because I can get some of the straw bales. I need 50 straw and 50 hay. It escapes me the name of the person I need them for, but that I won't be doing it on this episode, so when I do actually do it for the right one. And I've also got as well a contract for barley, 35,000 litres of barley, which again we'll see how much we get. We'll put anything we get will go into storage, because some of these contracts is going to take me probably more than one field to do it. It's because this I don't think has got any fertilising state on it. It needs ploughing, it needs lime, so the yield's not going to be awesome, but it will go into storage, and then when I get to the point I've got enough to fulfil the contract, I fulfil it and I get paid. So that's what we're going to be doing. But we are, there you go, you can see off the distance, turning around now. Brilliant. Cruise control on. This is the same. I will do a couple of headlands. I know headland, generally speaking, a headland is at the top and bottom of a field, and I know circuits then is probably the better phrase for it. I'll go in a couple of times. That gives the harvester turning space as well, and then I'll work out the best way to get a rectangle in the harvester can do with a worker. I mean, to be fair, you can set a worker off. Sometimes they go a little bit haywire and you can find them all over the place, so it's kind of better, you're better off. I know some people just like to just let a worker go and not have to worry about it, but I think part and parcel of doing a map like this is this very thing, is either doing the whole field yourself. On a lot of the smaller fields I will do the whole harvest and all of it myself, but some of the bigger fields it's a little bit harder to do. There's an air balloon. Oh, it's good. It's weird. I think another one of the comments I had left was, when you start playing on this map, because the map, that's what I started saying earlier, because this is based on, when I said about saying stupid things and me editing them out, which I told you it'd come back to me, didn't I? Was that I was going to say it has such a natural feel to it. What it would do, because it's a real place. The whole map is based upon a real place. It doesn't get more natural than the actual place. Sometimes you play on maps and they feel a little bit contrived, you know. And don't get me wrong, they're fantastic. We've played on some amazing maps on FS17, and there are new maps coming out all the time on 19 now. Say all the time, you know what I mean. This just feels very natural. And again, I'm biased. You know, people will watch my Let's Play, they'll watch my first look and go, well, it's not my cup of tea, I don't like it, that sort of map doesn't interest me in the slightest. I know a few people said because the amount of trees, and when you're driving on some of the roads and stuff, it feels quite dark and dingy, but that's the realism factor to it. That kind of, out in a field like this where the sun's out and it's shining on the vehicles seem almost too bright, a little bit too cartoony. That was one of the comments that was left. So it's almost like you need to get your machinery a little bit dirty for it to kind of feel a little bit more gritty and real, you know. But yeah, the map, of course, it feels real because it is a real place, isn't it? Oh, okay, actually the yield might not be too bad. I might hit my 35,000 off this. What are we on? 5,000 now. I think we might well do. I could, not on this episode, possibly the next episode. But if I get this harvest done, we have actually got some crop in storage as well, already in the silo. We could hit one contract by the second episode. Job done. See, get the contractor in. You've probably seen, you might have seen the film or the series, The Equalizer. If you go back, Edward Woodward, back in the day, The Equalizer, and obviously the new films with Denzel. I'm the contractor. I know. I'll stop talking. Right, I'm off for a tractor and trailer. I don't think the armour track's going to be up to this. Possibly not. Oh, I like a Massey. Did I tell you? I don't know if I told you. My brother, in real life, not in the narrative, his channel is Man Cave Beer Reviews, and he does beer reviews from his man cave and sometimes out in the countryside and various different things. He got me, and it's just amazing. Among other things, he got me, I probably have said this, I can't remember now, he got me a Massey Ferguson VIN plate, and there are loads that were never issued, so they're blank. So this is like a vintage VIN plate, it's black and silver from Massey Ferguson, and on the lines where the VIN number and serial number and stuff goes, he's got my name for the channel, MrSealyp. Then it's got the date of my very first, or it's got my birth date, I think, then the date of my very first YouTube video on the Massey Ferguson VIN plate. It's such a cool thing. I love it. I do like a Massey. I mean, I like all tractors. Let's be honest. I'm a big fan of New Holland. Always have been. My daughter loves New Holland. But I do like a Massey. Anyway, that being said, let's go and empty this harvester. Which means I need to buy a baler or lease a baler. Let's get that open. Hopefully that's not going to hit on that. Oh, should be fine. Fantastic. Okay, well, this is going to continue into the next episode, and hopefully if we get enough we'll be able to fulfill one contract. When we get to the point we're going to fulfill the contract, I'll go into more detail of who the contract was for. I know it's 35,000 litres, but like I say, next episode I'll let you know. That's continuing. This will be finished soon, and then we can get this fertilised and hopefully seeded, which means buying a load of seed and fertiliser. I need to do that contract on field... what field was it? Oh, field 1, which is where... Right, hang on. 2, 3, 4... Oh, there. Oh, it's right by the farm. That's not too bad. Okay, so fertiliser in there. So we'll have to go off, fill up the fertiliser spreader, and like I say, we'll sort that out. The ploughing's going really well on here. There's a few little bits I'm going to need to tidy up here and there, but that's all right. But I have to say, back in the UK, back on the family farm, I'm back in. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I certainly have. I'm loving it. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.